Welcome back, students. Welcome to the class. In the previous class, we have discussed Sidwick rule, that is EAN rule, and the chelation factor, the cyclization of the ligand around the central metal atom. Now, if the ligand with two or more donor groups position in such a way that it is able to form a 5-member or 6-member ring around the central metal atom, then the effect is known as the chelation effect. Now, in the previous class, I have given you some examples, so let's look at that once more so that we can proceed further. Now, here you can easily see that in this case, this is ethylene diamine. Ethylene diamine, the arrow goes towards a metal atom. Okay, so you can see that a cyclic 5-member ring is formed by the ethylene diamine around that. Similarly, oxalate ion is there. Then there is 110 phenanthroline is there. It is also able to form what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-member ring around the central metal atom. Similarly, you have glycine. In case of glycine, you know that it is the first amino acid. So in case of glycine also, you can have a chelation around the central metal atom. Then you have 2,2-dipyridyl, or it is popularly known as dipyridine. That also is able to form chelation around the metal atom. Then you have carbonate. Okay, so all of these are excellent example of what? These are all excellent example of chelation. Okay, the arrow are going towards the metal, that is the central metal atom. Are you getting that here in each and every case? So this is what? So this is cyclization of the ligand around the central metal atom, that is known as chelation. Now look at by DMG. DMG also able to form a cyclic closed ring now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so a 6-member ring is formed here. Same to same, acetyl acetone. In acetyl acetone, you can say that there is the central metal atom is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here you can easily see that DMG and acetyl acetone, they are able to form what? They are able to form a 6-member ring around the central metal atom. Diethylene triamine. Okay, diethylene triamine, you can easily see that there is a central metal atom is there. Now the single ligand is able to form what? How many? It is able to form 2 rings around the central metal atom. You can easily see that. Okay, one ring is this, second ring is this. Are you getting that? And here also, okay, 2 dash, 2 double dash, terpyridine, that is also is able to form but how many closed ring? Around 1, 2 closed ring around the central metal atom. Okay, so this is very, very important scenario you have to take into consideration, that here the single ligand is able to form what? More than one chelating ring around the central metal atom. Now look at that. Nitrile, there is nitrile acetate. So nitrile acetate is also is able to form like that. Okay, and then you have triene or triethyl. What is that? Triethyl tetramine. Triethyl tetramine, here also it is able to form how many? 1, 2, 3. 3 closed ring around the central metal atom. Then you have what? Then you have EDTA. What is that? EDTA. Ethylene diamine tetraacetate. Ethylene diamine tetraacetate. That is able to form what? That is also able to form a cyclic ring around the central metal atom. Now next is about the ambient ligand. Ambient ligands are those ligands which have what, which have two or more than two donor atoms, but only one can donate electrons at a time. Okay, you got that or not? The first example is cyanide. It is called as cyanido or cyano. Okay, so here if the linkage occurs through the carbon of the cyanido group, then it's called as cyano or cyanido complex. If the linkage occurs through nitrogen, it is called as isocyanido or isocyano. Similarly, you have SCN group, that is called as thiocyanato. It is called thiocyanato. If the linkage occurs through sulfur, it is called as isothiocyanato. If the linkage occurs through nitrogen. So here you can see simply that that if the linkage occurs through sulfur, it is thiocyanato. If the linkage occurs through nitrogen, it is isothiocyanato. If the linkage occurs through carbon, it is cyano. If the linkage occurs through nitrogen, it is called isocyano. So these things must be in your mind always. So these type of ligands are called as ambidient ligands, which have two or more than two donor atoms, but only one can donate at a given time. Similarly, what you have a group that is nitrite group. If the linkage occurs through what? If the linkage occurs through nitrogen, it is called as nitrito N complex. And if the linkage occurs through oxygen, it is called as nitrito O complex. Are you getting that in your mind? That is very, very important. Are you sure about that? Now, ligands can be what? Ligands can be sigma donor. Ligands can be sigma donor, pi acceptor. And ligands can be pi donor, pi acceptor. Okay? Sigma donors, some examples are like water, ammonia, ethylene diamine, okay, chloride, bromide, iodide, like that. So all of them are what? All of them are sigma donors. But they are sigma donors. Are you getting that? Then you have sigma donors, pi acceptor. Carbon monoxide and nitric oxide have vacant anti-bonding molecular orbitals. They will donate their sigma electron to the central metal atom, and the central metal atom will donate its filled d orbital electrons to the vacant anti-bonding molecular orbital of carbon monoxide and nitric oxide. That's why CO and NO both are popularly known as pi acceptor, because they are able to accept d electrons in their vacant anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Similarly, you have pi donor, pi acceptors. Okay, benzene, ethene, acetylene, like that. These are called what? Pi donor, pi acceptor. Their pi electrons are being lost to the central metal atom, and the metal will back donate their d electrons to the anti-bonding MO of these unsaturated compounds. So they are pi donor, pi acceptor. So memorize all these examples in your mind. And in the last you have flexidentate. What are flexidentate? Ligands which have flexible character. Like sulfate, it can be a bidentate ligand, it can be a monodentate ligand. It means it can lose one pair of electron or two pair of electrons. Similarly, EDTA4 negative. The ligand can be what? Hexadentate, pentadentate and tetradentate, depending upon the vacant orbital available in the central metal atom. Now, the next topic is Werner theory of the complexes. Now you know that in the complex like that, this is the complex that is hexamine iron 3 chloride. Okay, when you dissolved in water, what will happen? When you dissolved in water, then the complex will remain intact, but the components which are outside the coordination sphere, everyone knows that this is coordination sphere. What is that called as? coordination sphere. So any species that it is outside the coordination sphere, it will undergo dissociation when dissolved in aqueous medium. Similarly, if you can take what, so you have 3 number of chloride ions. So it means that if you add silver nitrate now to these 3 chloride ion axis of that, you have 3 mole of AgCl, white PPT is obtained. Okay, why? Because these chloride ions are outside the complex. Now consider one more example. What is that example? That now in place of there is only 1 chloride inside and 2 outside. Now only 5 ammonia is inside. Now if you add water here, what would you find? That again the species which are inside the coordination sphere, they will remain intact, but outside you will get 2 chloride ions. Now if you to the chloride ions you will add silver nitrate in excess, what you will get? You will get 2 moles of AgCl white PPT. So in the first case you are getting 3 moles of AgCl white PPT. Okay, why? Because there are 3 chloride ions outside the coordination sphere. Now in the second case you got only 2 chloride ions outside the coordination sphere, so you are able to get only 2 AgCl. Okay, similarly in the next case, if you have complex like that, okay, and now you added water into that, what you will get? You will get that this complex will remain intact like that, plus you have formation of 1 chloride ion. To this chloride ion, if you add silver nitrate in excess, then you have 1 mole of AgCl, 1 mole of AgCl as white PPT. So you got 1 mole of AgCl as the white PPT in this case. Are you getting that or not? So in this way you are getting what? In this way you are getting a white PPT of silver chloride. Are you okay with the situation now? Sure. Similarly, what you have species like K4Fe CN6. If you dissolved in water, what you will get? You will get 4K plus and as FeCN4 negative. So the species that is outside the coordination sphere will undergo dissociation, but the component which are inside the coordination sphere, they will remain intact. So that is very simple point you have to keep in your mind. Are you getting that or not? So Werner proposed a theory on this observation. Okay, are you sure about that? Similarly, if you have what? Similarly, if you have, let us suppose that here in this case, if you add what? If you add aqueous BaCl2, you will get white PPT of barium sulfate. But on adding what? But on adding silver nitrate, you will get nothing. Similarly, here in this case, on adding barium chloride aqueous, you will get nothing. But on adding silver nitrate, you will get what? You will get yellow PPT of AgBr, yellow PPT of AgBr, that is soluble in ammonia, Okay, sure about that. So the species which is outside that, the ion which are present outside the sphere, they are ionizable. They are what? Ionizable. Now we have postulates of Werner theory of complexes. Okay, so what are the postulates? In the coordination compound, the important postulates of Werner theory of complex are as follows. In the coordination compound, the central metal atom exhibit two types of valencies. One is called primary valencies, which are ionizable outside the sphere, and second is the secondary valencies. These valencies are inside the coordination sphere. So the species which are inside the coordination sphere and which are outside. The primary valencies correspond to the oxidation state. The primary valencies correspond to the oxidation state, while the secondary valencies correspond to the coordination number. Are you okay with that? Every metal has fixed number of secondary valencies. Okay, so because it has a fixed coordination number. Okay, if 4 are there, then two possibilities are either tetrahedral or square planar. But if 6 is there, then you have only octahedral. Okay, the metal atom tend to satisfy both primary and secondary valencies. Primary valency is satisfied by negative ions, whereas secondary valency is satisfied by negative ions or by neutral ions or by positive cations also. Like hydrazonium means why? Because in hydrazonium, although it contains one nitrogen contains positive charge, but still it has one lone pair in the second nitrogen atom. So secondary valencies can be satisfied by negative ions, by neutral ions, or sometime by positive ions, but those positive ions must have flexidenticity. The secondary valencies are always directed towards the fixed position in the space. So secondary valencies are responsible for the geometry of the complex. So this causes the definite geometry of the coordinate compound. For example, if a metal ion has 6 secondary valencies, these are arranged octahedrally around the central metal atom. If the metal ion has 4 secondary valencies, it can be either tetrahedral or square planar around the central metal atom. The secondary valencies so determine the stereochemistry of the complex, while the primary valency is non-directional. So please make sure that you have all these things well established in your mind now. Now let's look what we are already learned once more. Here I given you one example. The example is it is tetra mean nickel to chloride. So this two chlorine atoms or two chloride ions, they are outside the coordination sphere. So they are called as PV. That is called what? That is called as primary valencies. Okay, the ammonia is present inside the coordination sphere. It is able to form coordinate bond around the nickel metal. So these 4 ammonia are what? They are secondary valencies. So primary valencies are ionizable, secondary valencies are non-ionizable. Similarly, here 3 chlorine are there. 1 chlorine is outside the sphere, 2 are inside. So the one that is outside the sphere is able to ionize, but the 2 chloride ion which are inside the sphere, it means these 2 chloride are secondary valencies and this 1 chlorine is primary valencies. Okay, so these things must be These are very minor things, but you must be very much sure in your mind. Okay, sure. Now let's look at postulates of Varna theory once more. The central metal atom in the coordination atom exhibit two types of valencies: ionizable primary valencies and non-ionizable secondary valencies. Primary valencies are ionizable, satisfied by negative ions. Secondary valencies are non-ionizable, they are satisfied by negative ions. Also, secondary valencies are fixed for any metal, and that is always equal to the coordination number of the particular metal in that case. The ion bonded by the secondary linkage to the metal exhibit characteristics, that is spatial arrangement, correspond to different coordination number. Are you getting that in your mind now? Are you sure? So these points should be in your mind, and they should be always in your mind now. Clearly understood now? Are you sure? Answer is very much sure. Okay. Now what about the difference once more? If you look at that, primary valencies are ionizable, primary valencies are satisfied by negative ions, primary valencies does not determine the structure of the complex. ठीक है, primary valencies can be used as secondary valencies also. Secondary valencies, they are non-ionizable, satisfied by the neutral ligand or by negative ligands. Secondary valencies helps in determining the structure. So spatial arrangement of the complex is given by secondary valencies. Okay, in most of the cases secondary valencies may not have primary valencies. So this is not a completely right sentence. So not always, sometimes function as primary valencies. Okay, only negatively charged secondary valencies can act as prime. I am repeating once more. Only negatively charged secondary valencies can act as primary valencies. Now look at these examples of coordination compound which are given to you. Okay. Now this is the formula of the compound. It can be arranged like that. Okay. Platinum is in +4 state here. 4 chlorides are outside the spheres. So outside spheres they are called what? They are called as primary valencies. 6 ammonia are what? 6 ammonia are what? 6 ammonia are secondary valencies. So they are secondary valencies. Okay. Total 4 ions of chloride and 1 ion of what? Complex they are found. So 5 is the total number of ions here. Okay, you getting me or not? Let's see what I'm trying to say. That now you have a complex like that. So if it is dissolved in water, this is what you will get. Okay, so this is 1 cation and that is 4 anion. So 1 cation and 4 anion, total 5 ions are there. How many total? 5 ions are there, and these 5 ions, okay, they exhibit what? These 5 ions will give you conductivity's value. Why? Because ions in solution, they can carry charge. Remembering that or not? I already told you kappa is conductivity. Okay, we have already read it in what? We already studied all these things in what? That free ions in solution, they can carry charge. We have already learned that in molar conductivity and equivalence conductivity concept. Okay, so there are 5 ions are there. Similarly, here in this case, you have 4 ions. You have how many? 4 ions are there. 3 are outside the, that is primary valencies, and 1 is what? So here also charge on the metal ion is what? Charge on the cation. Cation means complex is what? Now let's look at that. Now if this has been dissociated, it will give you how many? It will give you, so this is cation, this is anion. This is anion, this is what? Cation. So cation carry charge of +1 because you are getting 3 ions. You are getting how many? 3 ions. So here what are you getting? Here in this case what? In this case I am repeating once more. Let us suppose this is the complex we are talking about. 3 anions will be there, and what? And 1 cation will be there carrying +3 charge. So +3 charge will be carried by the cation. Coordination number of the central atom 5 ammonia and 1. 6 atoms are around the platinum. So 6 is the coordination number of the platinum. Primary valencies. How many species are outside the sphere? Okay. Okay, clear? So 4. Total how many? Are you getting me or not? That because 3 are what? Now look at in this case, in the first case, what we have seen that number of ions per unit formula is how many? Okay. Now let's look at first case. It is platinum, ammonia 6 into Cl4. So when you dissolved it, what are you able to get? You are able to get a species like that. Okay, so there will be 5 ions are there. Total 5 ions are there. Written that number of ions per unit is how many? 5 are there. 1 cation and 4 anion. Look at the conductivity values. Conductivity value is 523. What is that? 523. Are you getting that? And 4 chloride ions there. If 4 chloride ions are there, if you add silver nitrate into that, you have 4 mole of AgCl precipitation. Remember that the ion which is outside the sphere will undergo precipitation only. Are you okay with the situation now? Okay. Now look at the second complex. Second complex is this. Okay. Its connected value is 404. Only 4 ions are present here. And only 3 chloride ions again. Now how will you show that? Okay. So it is platinum, ammonia 5Cl. If you dissolved in water, what you are able to get? You are able to get 3 chloride ions. Okay, so total how many are there? So 3 plus is the charge on the cation. So 1 cation and 3 anions are there. So 1 plus 3, how many are there? Total 4 ions are formed. Total 4 ions are formed. So when these 4 ions are formed, it means 3 chloride ions are there. So 3 chloride ion, when treated with silver nitrate, will give you 3 mole of AgCl. Will give you how many? 3 mole of AgCl. Are you sure with that? Okay, very much sure. Now let's look at the example number 3. That this is the complex PtCl4 4 ammonia. Now here you can see conductivity values are very low in comparison to first case. Why? Because number of ions per unit formula are only 3. and only two chloride ions are outside the sphere. Let's see how it can be shown. Platinum, ammonia 4, Cl2 and Cl2. So what you are able to get? You will get a cation and two anions. Okay, so total 3 ions are there. How many? 3 ions are there. Look at that, only 3 ions. Okay, so only 2 chloride ions are present. So if you add silver nitrate to that, you will get 2 moles of AgCl as precipitate. Okay, are you sure? So look at the all examples. The ions which are outside the sphere, they are able to give you free ions. Okay, sure about that? Here total ions are 3, so conductivity value is 299. Are you okay with the situation? Oh, sorry. Now if you look at this example once more, it is platinum, this is 3 ammonia, this is 3 chlorine. So it is triamino trichlorido platinum 4 chloride. So when it undergo dissociation in water, the chlorine that is outside the sphere will give you chloride ion, and the species which are inside, they will give you cation. Okay, so when chloride ion you add silver nitrate, you will get a white PPT of AgCl. What you will get? A white PPT of AgCl you will get. Are you sure about that? Now look at the last example. In the last example, you will see that conductivity is 0. So this complex does not give you any species. 0 number of ions are formed, and 0 is the number of chlorine atoms outside the sphere. So what is the shape of complex? This is the shape of the complex. So this is example number 5. Okay, 4. Look at 4. Look at 3. This is 3 number. Look at 2 number. And look at the 1 number. Now in each and every case you can see that here secondary valencies are constant. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Coordination number is same in all the cases. But in the first case you have number of ions per unit formula is 5. In the second case the number of ions per unit formula you are getting 4. In the third case the number of ions per unit formula you are getting 3. So the chloride ions which are outside the coordination sphere, they are ionizable, and those which are inside the coordination sphere, they are non-ionizable. So coordination number in all the cases remain the same, but ionizable valencies outside the coordination sphere will keep on changing. Now you have to make into account one more thing, that primary valencies are shown by dotted lines, while secondary valencies are shown by solid lines. So here you can see that this is dotted line, this is dotted line, this is dotted line. So, and solid lines are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So you can write the formula like that. Are you sure about that? So this clearly shows that primary valencies are shown by the dotted lines and secondary valencies are shown by what? They are shown by the solid lines. Are you sure about that? So look at the position of the Werner theory once more. In the theory of Werner, that primary valencies are ionizable, secondary valencies are non-ionizable. Primary valencies are satisfied by charged ions, while secondary valencies are satisfied by both charged ion, neutral ions, and positively charged ions also. Okay, primary valencies does not determine the structure of the complex. Secondary valencies determine the structure of the complex. Okay, and primary valencies gives you an idea about the oxidation number, while secondary valencies gives you idea about the coordination number of the complex. So these things must be kept in your mind always. Now look at the limitations of Werner theory. The limitations of Werner theory shows that it fails to explain the magnetic, color and optical property of the coordination compound. Okay, it successfully explains the electric property of the compound. Okay, remember that. It failed to explain reason why all elements do not form coordinate compounds. It failed to explain that directional properties of the bonds in a coordination compound, why it happens. The theory does not explain the stability of the complex. The theory does not tell us about the nature of the complex. So these points should be what? These points must be clear to you now one by one. Okay, it fails to explain magnetic and optical properties. It fails to explain that why all elements do not form coordinate compound. It could not explain the nature of the complex, stability of the complex, and geometry of the complexes. So these factors are very very important, and these are the 5 failures of the or 5 limitations of the Werner theory of the complex. Sure, bete? Very much sure.